Our first confession is from this guy called Eugene Au. And as mentioned just now, Eugene Au joined us in about 2019. And back then, we were running something called SC Expedition, where we were bringing people from the community, anyone and everyone who wants to learn how to investigate and do proper investigation at haunted places to join us, and we sort of impart that knowledge to them. Eugene Au was probably the only one, I guess, who managed to go all the way to the very end, and we even filmed him doing a solo at Pasir Ris Suicide Tower.
What I have with me are incense. I am going to offer the incense to whoever is here. If anything is here, this thing will go off, and the temperature right now should be a few different. 24 degrees right now. I'm hearing some like leaf breaking or whatever. I'm not sure what they are. I don't know, is it natural or paranormal? I'm hearing a bit of sounds around me, and I have a bit of emotion going on right now. I don't know why it's just. I just feel like I'm crying. Right now, I feel here. It's really cold. It's just like in the fridge. In interview, my hair is standing up right now. I don't know if you guys see, but look at this. My hair is standing. What do you hear? I'm hearing some breathing sound right over here. Was that you?
So I've not heard from him in a while, and when I finally met out with him, he lost a lot of weight, and he said he just came back and survived a near-death encounter. In his confession, he spoke about what went wrong with his body, but when I asked him, I said, how did it all happen like this? Was there genetic? Was there some form of, there must be a trigger, right? Maybe down your lineage. He says, no, my body just gave way overnight. So I look at him, he looked at me, I go like, so you think it must be the well,
because you brought him to Pasir Ris Suicide Tower, is it?
Yeah. Since then his life are downhill, right? Okay.
Yeah, see?
Let's take a listen to Eugene Au's confession about what he encountered during the time when he was in ICU. You were in hospital?
Yes.
And why were you even in hospital for this?
So I suffer some health complications.
And was this the one where you almost died?
Yes. So basically, I also have a flash before my eyes. I really saw like the past. At that point, I thought I will just pass away.
What happened to you medically that you were close to death?
My internal organs actually burst. My muscle tear. When I keep vomiting, it's actually caused one of my lungs to actually collapse. The doctor said if I have go in 1 day earlier, I would have made it. After I done my operation, I was in the ICU. There is something very funny that happened to me. Is I hear there was music. Even I asked my brother, "Have you heard music?" My brother said no. So it's really, oh my god! I say like, okay, that means once he say no, I know myself what happened really. So it's really, yeah. So I keep hearing people pacing up and down, even in the middle of the night. Sleepers, sa 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 sa. And the funny thing is that I don't know, is it my mind is playing trick on me or but it sounds, I even hear like the people is talking. I'm pretty sure the voices is from inside the ward where I am sleeping.
What do the voices tell you?
I can't really hear what they are saying. I just like hear people talking, but I can't understand what they are saying. After I transferred to high dependency, I dream of something actually, I don't know can consider scary or whatever it is, but I dream that I actually float up to the sun, like near where the sun is. And literally when I was in a dream, I can feel my whole body was burning out. It's really strange, and I don't know, it's because of my condition or something else, it's really a mysterious. I think some of the things that happened to me on that day when I was in the hospital, I'm pretty sure it couldn't been explained by logics. Even and because the ward that I stay in, there is I don't know what kind of machine is that in my mind that the machine, like, because if after darkness, if the thing, it looks like a robot, just hanging there like that, something like that. I felt the thing is talking to me. I felt like something is over there, like talking, communicating with me. Yeah, so I think this is the I think as far as I can remember, this is all the stories that I encountered over there in the hospital.
When I look at his video, I have never met Eugene before, but judging from his video, he looked like he's in the young 20s. So very, very unlikely he will have serious health conditions. He's mentioned his lungs collapse and things like that. So it is kind of like it also put a question mark on my face. I was just like, huh? He has a lung collapse, and then he also mentioned when he listened, when he was in the hospital, he hear like music and he hear footsteps every day when he's in the hospital. So that's like, I think, when you are sick, you're not in a proper health, this kind of spiritual attacks can happen. So it must be the hantu.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Belinda there.
Oh, wow, what a surprise.
Oh.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So
Tell us why.
Okay, this came from my grandmother. My Peranakan grandmother, she has a lot of pantang. She believes that when you are sick, she used this word un. I don't know whether how many of you remember this old un. Your un is low. Your soul.
Okay.
Your chi, your un is low.
Yeah.
So when you're sick, your sui, your un is low, you will attract these things. Either you attract them or they are already there, and because your defense are lowered, you can see them. So especially in the hospital, where most people are on the threshold of both worlds, this creates a huge confluence of energy in that one area, and you would hear a lot of things walking. Now the question is, was he haunted in hospital, or was he just experiencing the things that are already walking around hospital? And because he is in a state where his un is low, he's high on medicine, he start to hear and see things. Now, I don't think in his confession there were any evidence at all of him being haunted or his life was in danger. Even the last part where he says, I saw this machine and it looks like something and it's talking to me. I'm a bit 50-50 on that. Why I say that is, if he said, I saw a shadow in the corner stepping out and talking to me, I will go, wow, this one likely hantu. But he says, I saw a machine. And if you look at all those hospital machine in the dark and you're already spooked because you hear the Chinese music, you hear the walking thing, it's quite easy to also then look at everything around you and go, it's the hantu.
Yeah.
What was also interesting was the Chinese song. I asked him, what is the kind of Chinese song that you heard, right? And he was saying it's like mama something. So I said, is it like the old Chinese radio type, the 1920s? He said, yeah, it sounds something like this. And he
Mama, okay.
And he said he talked to his brother, and this is why it's interesting. If it's just him hearing all this, sure, my friend, you just came out of a surgery, you are high and doped up, understandable, you imagine things. But when he heard something, his brother didn't. He heard the shuffling of the footsteps. Now, all this is, I feel, is not just that moment where he come out of surgery. It's over a prolonged period. So maybe it's not so much a medicine anymore. So I feel I'm leaning more towards his un is low. He's just more susceptible to the experiences around him, and those, and that's where he got to pick into the hantu world.
And so in the Hantu world, there's this soundtrack lah, which is Mama. Or what would your explanation of the Mama song be in the Hantu world?
Maybe someone in that very same ICU ward was playing that song and passed away while that song was playing. Because when death happens, there's a burst of energy. And everything in that moment gets frozen in time. And that's why you have things like recurring haunting where you see this person running and jumping down, but actually there's no haunting. It's just a snapshot of that moment in our space and time. And science, we have not kind of explained how that works, so we just call it haunting. But I believe someone died, music was playing, at the point of death, energy exploded, imprint in the place. He gets to tap onto that frequency, and he hears that.
I like. Okay, I mean, I love two things about what you're saying, right? You know, number one, of course, yes, the idea of the un being low, right? Or in Chinese terms, the yin. You know, he's being more yin because he's sick, right? And of course, you know, emotionally and mentally drained as well, right? So he's susceptible, whether susceptible to spiritual attack or just more sensitive to things. I think that's where the crossroads are, lah. Right? You know, some will say, oh, he gonna attack, he gonna invaded, blah blah blah. Others will say it's because he's hypersensitive in that mode. You pick up on things that others may not pick up on, right? And that is where then you connect to your second point, which is that there are imprints. Right? There are imprints that might be here, which science has not yet fully explained, right? But to me, it is something that is I call it para-supernatural, something that used to be supernatural, but is almost scientific already. You know, we're just waiting for someone to put a name to it, and then Bill Gates to, like, you know, commercialize it and make it an app, you know, where you can download the app and then pick up songs from the past that's in your room. You know, I think we're this close. We're this close, okay? But I think that yes. So I think that a hospital definitely is a place where a lot of let's call them imprints, memories, whatever you want, right? You know, have been collected because of the intense emotions, right? Of grief, of loss, of pain, right? So if you're thinking of a place that has a lot of things to record, a hospital has a lot, right? And someone, I think, in that state is, I think, a lot more susceptible to receiving that kind of thing. You know, I want to add a little thing also about. I mean, I was reading a lot about near-death experiences at one stage in time, and they talk about how the body, when in extreme pain, or, you know, when the body is sort of, in a way, the body is panicking, right? Because things are not working, right? And it can't cope, right? And one of the first things it does is it tries to protect your consciousness, right? It tries to protect the HQ, all right? And the first thing it does is it releases opiates, right? So that it tries to sort of suppress the pain. It tries to distract you from the pain. You know, imagine if you're lying there in a hospital bed and all you are is conscious of pain. Wow, I tell you, it's horrendous, right? You know, so what the body does is it releases opiates to, let's say, hallucinate, to make you hallucinate, right? To make you think of other things, right? And then you forget the pain. And in that forgetting, maybe your body is trying to cope, trying to heal, trying to whatever, trying to fight. But it needs your brain to be distracted, right? Because the brain just gets in the way. You know, your conscious mind gets in the way. So suddenly our senses go astray. You know, we start to hear things. We start to... So, like, for example, the whole idea of the... when you know, near death, you see your life flashing before your eyes, right? A lot of that can be down to the opiates. You know, because you bring back all the things you remember, the things that your brain wants to remember, and you distract yourself with that while your body does its thing, you know? So I think in his extreme state of physical shutdown, his mind was going places that I think, you know, it had to go just to protect him, just to keep him sane, right?
Yep, that may be true, but I want to pass the mic back to Belinda because she had an experience. Belinda has her featured confession tonight at 11:30, so listen out for that one. She will give you the full rundown of a haunting at 11:30. But for now, I just want to know the question. Belinda, you have had experience of obviously you have the third eye as well, and you said in the video that it's not fully open, which means you can sense and see shadows and shapes, but not see full details. But you also said you know some of them are just wandering by, and some of them are actually malicious. Can you give, for those of us who cannot feel, cannot see anything, can you let us know what's the difference in that? How does it feel?
I have, okay, just a bit of context. So I have been living in my house. I just recently moved out lah. So I have been living in my family house for about as old as I am. I'm 26 this year, 27, sorry. Yeah.
It's about my age lah.
20 odd years already. Then afterwards, the scary thing is that this house is, because it's an old HDB, is quite big. It's a 5-room flat. So the house is quite spacious. And from young, I will see like, you know, people just walking past the kitchen. However, there's like nobody there. Then they will just walk into the wall. Then when I see that, I'll just stop and I'll just U-turn. I'll just go the other way. I don't want to go there already. Okay. Then I also will see like sometimes just people just like chilling, or just like people just like curiously like looking at you. But you fully know that there's nobody there. So it's just like, you like slowly like question, am I sane? Am I insane? Is this real? Yeah. So after that, the very scary thing is that all these are just like passerbys. So they are just like, you know, if you go kopitiam, you know, the uncle just look at you eating your cai fan. This kind of thing is like quite normal. The uncle is not malicious, or the uncle can't, you know, steal your cai fan. He can't come and harm you, right? So it's like, you want to see law, you see me eating cai fan and enjoying my rice, you know. That's okay. But the scary thing is like, so there was this particular room that I stay in. It has a very, very, very negative aura to it. So every night, my head and my feet are not facing the wall lah. If some people are talking about feng shui and things like that. So I will see a humanoid figure every night. When I'm going to sleep. So I can't see her fully. I have not seen her face, but I know she's very angry and she's like staring at you. So that is like super scary to me. And when I was sleeping in that room for about 2 to 3 years, I keep falling sick. Then I keep stomach pain for no reason. Doctor tell me, I don't know why this is happening to you. All the scans come up negative. You are perfectly healthy. But I have a lot of terrible, terrible, terrible nightmares. And like, just that thing just asks you to go out. Just asks you to, you know, don't stay in the room anymore. This is my space. So that is a very different kind of feeling from like, versus the, you know, random uncle looking at you eating your cai fan.
Actually, Belinda, have you ever been to a hospital? I'm assuming you have, right?
No. I have been to like hospital for checkup, day surgeries and things like that. So all this while hospital is quite okay, because usually when I do need to visit the hospital, I'm like quite gravely ill already. So the spirit actually attacked me, and then I went to the hospital like twice at the night lah. So it was a very terrible feeling. You know, the doctor just like cannot give me an answer why am I this sick. Yeah. Right. So at that point of time, I was like dying already, you know.
So you got attacked by spirits, and then you got to the hospital. So in comparison, spirits in the hospital
is safer. Hospital is safer. You should just stay in hospital.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.